This is Folded Curiosity. The following discussion is with Anna Zielinski, a film and television producer, director, and professor at Biola University. She hosts the Producer's Desk, sharing practical tools and insider tips to help indie filmmakers get from script to screen. And she's known for a hands-on producing style and mentoring the next generation. Early in her career, Anna produced God's Not Dead, a breakout in the modern faith-based film movement that grossed over $60 million on a $2 million budget.
So Anna Z,
Yes.
tell everybody, what is it that you do?
What do I do?
You're like a jack of all trades. So define what it is that you do.
What I do. Okay. Well, that's a great question because I've been asking myself that a lot lately. What do you want to do? What have you been? So, okay. I've worn many hats up until this point in life from, I guess in the buckets you could put them. I've been an actress for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And then I moved from acting to producing within that time frame. And then moved into upper management here for the last 3 years as a head of production for a film company. And now I'm at a space where, what next, you know?
Sure.
I think maybe teaching's calling my name, maybe consulting. Honestly, the sky's the limit right now, and I'm kind of embracing it. I'm kind of liking it. But get back to me in like 6 months, and I'll let you know how I'm feeling about this. But it's good. It's an appropriate time because I'm at a crossroads in my life. I've hit a milestone birthday, which we're not going to say exactly what that is. It's for the audience. I mean, yeah, it's around 30-ish. And then, so it's time to think. It's time to think about what next. But yeah, my life's been in entertainment for quite some time.
So you started as an actress. Mm-hmm. I know the story briefly. Is there an interesting way you got into? I mean, were you just like...
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. So I was a dancer and a gymnast. I started off as a gymnast as a wee child at the YMCA. I remember my mama couldn't drive. She's Filipino, so I'm what they call a Polipino. But I grew up in Louisiana. My dad was in the service. He retired in Louisiana. It was either like a small town in Louisiana or a really small town in Alabama. He tossed the coin, and Louisiana, here we come. So if you can imagine a Filipino woman and a Polish man roll into a redneck town, I always said that's a country song or a sitcom, right? So life began, and there wasn't much because Mama couldn't drive, so we walked everywhere. And I remember us I'm one of three. So she put all the kids like in the backpack sort of thing. And I mean, we would just walk places. And I remember the YMCA was like, it was a long way away. I know it was a good hour walk. And God love Mama, you're going to go to your gymnastics. I say, okay. So we go and we walk and I get there and pretty talented at it. I did pretty good. And they were like, she needs to be put into some sort of school. And we were like, yeah, we'll figure it out what that means. And so we found a gymnastics center that had a really great program. And so that's how that began. But my dad was real strict on things, and he just really, academics was more important than going to meets. So that kind of fizzled. So I started dancing. So that was the progression. And basically I just knew, I don't know, I just felt like there was going to be a career in entertainment because I loved it. I loved to perform. So yeah, I finished my educational track. I lost my father when I was 21, so I knew that this was something he wanted. I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted, but I'm already in school, so I finished everything. I graduated with an accounting degree, and then I was like, okay, great, I've got this degree. I think I need to be a Laker girl. I mean, it's a normal segue, isn't it? Exactly, right? Thank you for my diploma. Where are my pom-poms? So yeah, I don't know. I think back and I go, wow, I was all over the place. So yeah, I got the notion. I used to love watching MTV and watch the videos, and Paula Abdul was Janet Jackson's choreographer, and I thought, oh my God, look at that life. It's so amazing. I want to be one of those dancers. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So Paula Abdul was a Laker girl, so I decided I needed to be a Laker girl. I mean, it's a normal, conclusion there, right? So yeah, but luckily I did not head straight out to LA, which was kind of a godsend, to be honest. I ended up getting a job in San Antonio, and the Spurs, NBA Spurs, were based out of there. So my boss at the time was like, look, your dreams are not completely dead. You can be a San Antonio Spur. And I'm like, okay. So I go, my first day in town, I try out for the team.
What were you doing in San Antonio? It's like, because you're from Louisiana, right? So how does that translate?
So I was, when I graduated from Tech, there was a professor there, and I was actually coaching his son, who was like on a Junior Olympics track, needed a ballet coach for his compulsory routine. So that's how we connected. So dancer, see, there's still this, even though I was, like I said, I'm on track for accounting, I love dance, I love performing, so I found that connection weirdly. So he was the one that was like, hey, come to San Antonio. Before you could jump on that plane to LA, come to San Antonio and just check out the town. It's beautiful. It's a little smaller. Might be a better place for you to start. And there's an NBA team. So he was a good salesman. So that's how it started. And I got to tell you, nothing like rolling into new town with 16 new girlfriends that are all like the cheerleaders of the resident NBA. I got to tell you, we rolled into clubs, 16 deep. You get to know a lot of people fast.
I bet.
So it was a good time, I got to say. For a couple of years, I danced for them and then tore my ACL. And so that is how I stumbled into acting.
So the ACL, was that sort of the tipping point that kind of changed your trajectory?
Yeah, I mean, I ended up getting the surgery, but then I was like, gosh, you make $20 a game. I mean, you really are you're just there for looks. I mean, we are great dancers, and God love Netflix for putting on the Dallas Cowboy documentary and some of these other documentaries, because it is work. Dancers are athletes, and it is a tough job, and you are scrutinized daily, like weigh-ins. And I love me some Mexican food, okay? There was a thing called Taco Cabana down there, and I had me some quesadilla and that margarita. I was like, I'm in heaven. Well, this didn't work out too well sometimes. I was like, oh my gosh. Let's just say you just had to stay on your toes if you were going to be on that team, right? They're not joking. So, so that was a segue. But after I, hurt myself, I was like, do I really want to do this? I was dating a boy, and he was kind of doing his thing in that whole acting world. I was like, you should try it. And here's my agent. And so
he suggested you try it?
He suggested I try it, and I did. And God love him, I booked a commercial, and then I booked a pilot, and then I was
in San Antonio?
In San Antonio, because you could also audition in Austin.
Oh, okay.
And then they would send us to Dallas, because the commute even from San Antonio to Dallas was an easy Southwest flight for like $20. So that's
super
it.
cool.
Yeah, so it was interesting how, because the pilot I booked was in Dallas. It was for PBS at the time. Super cute, like little kids show with like Muppets and it was neat. And I was like, and mind you, I'm like maybe my third gig. I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm a terrible actress. I'm like, really? Am I doing this? It was really hard to translate movement from my body to words. I was just more heady. But apparently not too heady, because I guess when you don't really know what you're doing, ignorance is bliss. You're like, this is it. And they're like, you got it. You're like, oh, yay.
Yeah. Is there a big leap of logic for the average person? You're performing on stage, or you're performing on a court, per se, from that to being on camera. Is there a difference in that? And what is that difference? Is there like a shift that happens if it's like, now I'm actually the focal point of, all of this?
For me, I loved being in front of the camera. Out of the 16 girls, there was 2 of us, me and Shalane Jackson. I'll never forget. We chased that camera. Like, we'd find our way all the way up the court. We're like, hey. And we'd be the last ones off, first ones on in camera, and they loved us. So that part, so it wasn't hard to now. Okay, I understand your question. So being in front of the camera wasn't difficult, but now if I had to, I remember having to do a monologue first of all, that's a lot of words that I have to say by myself right now to this camera. And then dare you add some emotional elements to this, like if I'm not making a joke or whatever. Yeah, that was tough for me.
Because you're no longer being yourself as you're on the court. You're just having fun, and you're doing a choreography, and you're being spunky and fun. But now when you're on camera, you have to portray whatever it is you're required to for a commercial or for.
Yeah, yes. So becoming a character, that was difficult for me. Like I hadn't figured out that shift in the brain. Like the great actors and actresses that of our time, Meryl Streep, De Niro, Anthony Hopkins, and it can go on and on. The Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, people who embody these characters and become something else. I truly believe it is something that they're doing and switching and turning off in their brain, because I mean the brain's such an amazing and so powerful that I mean, people with multiple personality disorders, this is a real condition to where you can have multiple personalities where one of those personalities could be sick and the other three is not. I mean, there's research on this stuff. It is insanity. So if that is possible, there is some compartmentalization that is going on that is really deep. Now, so to shift back, so when you're dealing with characters and you're trying to create these imaginary circumstances that are believable, which is what acting's about, and you have all these methods.
Right.
Which is great. You have a bunch of tools as to how to get there. Maybe you use a little bit of everything. Maybe you're a Meisner person. What if you're like Stanislavski? It doesn't matter. It's whatever floats your boat and whatever gets you there. I, however, I don't know if I'm too cerebral, too logical. My brain was like, no, it's not real. We're not going there and we're not going to do it. So I had a hard time when it came to maybe film acting and that whole kind of theatrical side, but commercials, no problem. Even say you something, even smile and go, ba-dum-bum, I got you.
Yeah.
And that was easy, and that's where I gained most of my success.
Well, it's
really.
because I guess you're being more of who you are.
I'm being
inside,
who
right?
I am. And I felt more comfortable in that space, and I was okay with it.
You're not pretending, or you're putting on this mask, I guess, if you will.
I was okay with it and had quite the admiration for people who could do the other.
It seems tough. Like I couldn't.
It is tough. I mean, it's just a space I didn't want to put my head. I would be very choosy about the material because I knew what it. Don't get me wrong. I know what it takes to get there. I just didn't like it. I don't want to think or be this character of something that's dark or something that was depressed or evil or disturbed or whatever. Look, there's so much more stuff I have to deal with in my life. I don't want to have to go here and pretend to be in that sort of space. Like, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So most of my career was in a lane that I really felt comfortable with. I enjoyed it, and it was a great journey. I just knew that there was more for me than just being in front of the camera, because I was so curious about behind the camera. Like, I'm here, I'm supposed to be doing this scene, and I'm thinking, who is that behind the camera, and why are they doing that? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Or how did they do this? Or how did they choose me? Why am I here? Okay.
How's the sausage made?
How's the sausage made? There you go. Exactly.
And I know a little bit about this, but you grew up with a challenging childhood too. I mean, from what I understand, your mom was very busy. She was running a store. Your dad was busy. So there was a lot of, like, I don't know if the regimented is the term, but it was very strict.
Yeah. So my dad, 27-year Green Beret, paratrooper. I always like to brag, over 7,000 jumps in his career. Jeez. The irony, can I tell you something funny? Out of 7,000 jumps, 2 tours of Vietnam, 1 tour of Korea, the only injury he ever got was because he was dropped into a tree. They were doing a drop in Germany. I think it was even like an exercise, and I guess visibility was a little off. They didn't hit the right spot, so they dropped him over these really tall, I don't know if they were like a type of evergreen trees. It was just really high up. Drops the troops down in there, and he's like, it's black as night. I can't see anything. And he's like shimmying down this tree, and he's like, it's been a while. He's like, shit. I mean, we should be getting close. And he remembers dropping, I can't remember, like a coin or something, waiting to hear it I think I heard it. Yeah. He's like, oh, shit, and cuts the thing and falls like some ungodly like distance and lands on his heel and, you know, that whole tibia, right? Yeah, tibia.
Yeah.
Body
Tibia,
parts?
tibia.
Yeah. Radia ulna. Ooh, what?
You got it,
Biology.
yeah.
That's it. Out of all that entire career.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. Yeah. So, Dad was pretty darn strict. He married late. So he was stationed in the Philippines after a typhoon had hit, and he was doing vaccinations there.
Okay.
And they were at the hotel, and my mother was running the hotel for her aunt, and she was gorgeous. Long, dark hair. We're built exactly the same. She's got great legs. Great legs. And he sees her pass, and he liked to drink, a strong Polish accent. And please, nobody, I don't even know that's a good accent, but it's as good as it's going to get here. And he starts singing, Waltzing Matilda, Waltzing, yeah. I could totally see my dad. And my dad was he was all of 5'7" and maybe 160 pounds wet. But man had these piercing blue eyes that could just cut you down. He was a bad mofo, and he walked like he was, 6'7", 350. Very intimidating man. But had a very sweet, charismatic side because he apparently wooed my mama. So but first that scared her. She's like, oh my goodness, who is that man? She's like, But she's one of 14, and some of the sisters were like, oh, this is a good one. And so I think it was like within 6 months or 7 months, he swoops her up, marries her, pops me out. I'm pretty sure that was right then. Like, I was like, I got married, and whoop, 9 months later, here I come. Yeah, and she was a virgin at 36. I know, unheard of these days.
So your mom had you late, huh?
She had me late.
Yeah.
She sure did.
And your dad too. So it was both.
Yeah. So and then my brother came a year later, and then my sister 3 years later. But yeah, we're in Louisiana, and overall, like, to get back to your question, it was strict. Daddy was strict. Daddy had a hard life growing up, dealt with a lot of things, orphaned at a young age, and he held on real tight. Mm-hmm. It was very rigid. It was tough. I was his first, and he parented me a little differently than the others.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it made me tough.
No, I dig into that because it's a little bit of nature versus nurture, and your drive and your success and what you do. Do you think that's innate within you, or do you think that's something that was sort of learned from your childhood and the way you were raised? I mean, is there
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, for sure.
Yeah.
Because inherently, I am someone that, out of the 3 kids, I was the first one to mouth off to that. We were all scared of our dad, but somehow something came out. I was 13, and then things changed in my brain, and, I spoke up one time, got whacked. And I was like, all right, is that all you got? I'm thinking, who is this? Who is this person right now? So I think that was just inside, just to be a little opinionated.
Sure.
I got a few things to be said, and it's going to be heard. And I'm going to ask why a lot. My dad would always be like, do you always have to ask why? I'm like, yeah, I need to know. And then as far as my dad, like, he was extremely organized, extremely regimented, disciplined. I think that rubbed off. But again, I feel like it's a little bit of both, because looking at my brother and sister, I'm the one that's, like I said, more disciplined, more just, I have more of these qualities than they do. So I definitely have to say, it's who I am. But a lot of this was fostered by my dad. And
a lot of that's first child, too. I know a lot of
Yeah.
first children tend to be that way. I'm a first child, and I have that more of I need to be organized. This is how this has to be,
Yeah.
It could be a first child thing, too. I don't know how much of that's true.
Yeah.
I'm no psychologist, but I know that's, and
Maybe.
you probably looked after, I'd imagine.
Well, you're now the leader of this pack, whether you like it or not. So are
Right.
you going to rise to the occasion or not?
Right.
My brother and sister like to tease, and you can edit this out probably if you need to, but they would go, "Hi, Hitler," because I would sit here.
Oh, no.
I would sit here and dictate orders to them. And I was like, where did you get that? Or they're
Why
like, do
is
we
she
have
so
to listen
strict?
to her, Mom and Dad? They're like, yes. And I'm like, I would give out the orders. And until they did all their chores, they couldn't go. Like, he had a friend across the street that was waiting diligently by the window. And then my sister's like, can I please go away and read my romance novel? Do I have to do any more of this crap? So I would release them when they were done.
Carries through to this day where you run a set like that, I'd imagine, where it's very...
Oh boy. Yeah, let me tell you, when I first started producing, it was all just emotional. I was driven emotionally by it. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that everyone needed to listen to me. And if you had something to say, don't let me hear it behind my back. And I learned, the etiquette of film producing much later in life. But for my formidable years, my first 2-3 years, I was just a mess in a good way from a producer standpoint, because
Sure.
now my producers are like, oh my gosh, did she just do that? Did she just fire an entire G&E crew on day 5 of 10 shoot days? Yes, I did.
Oh,
Complete emotional decision at the time, but I felt disrespected and these guys had to go. I laugh about that now. We laugh about that now. But
not winning popularity contests.
No, I
with
wasn't.
that.
I had nicknames. I had really fun nicknames. But, there's a little bit of overcompensation. I can look back and go, when you're learning and then now you're, and especially as a woman on set. And
It's a tough world, yeah.
Yeah. What does she know?
Yeah,
What do I know? Well, buck me up in a second. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to tell you what I know.
sure.
You ain't working for me anymore. Get the hell off my set.
Get out.
Like
But
I
I'm
said,
sure that's something you probably have having learned that's probably something you try to pass on to, your young producers, where you're like, hey, there's going to
Absolutely.
be things you don't know, but I'm sure that's something a lesson you try to carry forward.
It's a personality trait of mine. I'm a pretty spicy individual. So learning how to temper that and keep myself in a very balanced state has been a constant thing, and it would be my Achilles heel. So I can humbly lay it out there. Aside from that, yes, it is something I will talk about. Like I'm starting to teach and really share my journey with and mentor young people. And yeah, for sure, it's. Film set is like a small, it's this microcosm, and it's got all types of people in this bubble that you're working with. And you can almost label them in terms of like the producers. You've probably seen these things on Instagram, like what the type of producer is and what the type of G&E guy is and what type is a PA and what type, everybody has different responsibilities, and it's interesting how people are naturally drawn to these categories, and they're pretty consistent.
That's true.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah, I found that true.
And you deal with all the transpo guys, those Teamster guys. Those are the good old boys with the G&E. They're just simple men. They just look. We're here to do our work. Make sure you feed me well and you pay my overtime. All will be right in the world. We're makeup and wardrobe and makeup, and you're going to have to be a little sweeter with them because, they can get really stressed out really fast, and people are just demanding and things, and it's, there's that world where you're having a lot of counseling sessions over there, and they provide counseling too, because that's a beautiful, in the makeup and wardrobe trailer, you go there and, you start dishing. Let's talk about the day, ladies and gents. So you learn all of this as you go. So being a producer, you have to wrangle all this, and you have to keep this harmony and balance.
It's personality management. It seems really like what it is.
It's
little psychology in there.
And babysitting, essentially.
Yeah. Babysitting, and then, I guess trying to make, because you want your film to be successful if you're producing it. So it's wanting everyone to feel like they're heard, and whatever their opinion is valuable, whether or not it's logical or not, right?
100%, 100%. And having worn several different hats in this world, I told you I'm an actress, did that, and then slipped into the directorial position, learning a lot there because you're the quarterback of the team, and just what you need to do to guide this team to success creatively is amazing. And the support you have from your crew, you see it from a different lens of how important every person is on that team, and to be firing at 110%. So as a producer, you want to wrap your arms around this to say, hey, I got you, and be there when things aren't working or they are working, and to continue to shepherd this group all the way to the end. And
That's sort of,
yeah.
That's your job.
I liked that role, and I know that was the role I was meant to be in.
Is that how you started? How did you get from acting? How did that transition into producing? Was that natural?
Yeah, natural for me in my head, probably not for most. Like, I have a really fun story. So basically, I've been acting. I'm doing really well commercially, and just feeling the ceiling of not being able to break that that barrier in the film world theatrically. Just wasn't quite getting the auditions, and I thought, gosh, what can I do now? And I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I just put myself in a film? I need to produce a film so I can be the star of the film. There you go. Solution. Now, how do we do this? So interestingly enough, I'm like looking, thinking, and I'm going through all probably the things most people don't do, because again, I'm such a right brain person initially, but I really do toggle back and forth pretty evenly. Like, there's still a very creative side to me.
Sure.
But initially it'll go to the logic first and go, okay, we're going to need contracts. We're going to need to make sure our money's good, and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, well, how do I do these contracts? Where do I get one of these contracts? So there's all this stuff spinning in my head, right? Well, funny enough, it's Thanksgiving, and it's like 2009. That's what it is. And I am a little perturbed. I was married at the time, and my ex-husband was like this. I met him at Abercrombie and Fitch, for goodness. He was one of those shirtless models. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a picture of him. He was one of those guys. I ain't saying I was hating it. Okay. So, but amazing guy. He's from Texas. I had just moved here, so it was actually a natural coming together, because we were both with the same management company, and that's how we met. And so basically, he was getting all those sexy parts, and I was getting nothing. He was easily cast into things I wasn't. And as much as they're like, support your mate, I mean, you guys, especially with actors marrying each other, like, you can't be jealous of them, because you couldn't play the role he's playing, and he can't play the role. I was like, but still, he's working and I'm not. So trying to stay positive in that, and we had just had a baby. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on our Thanksgiving dinner and our centerpiece, and I need to go find some candles. So I'm not sure I ended up at this random candle shop in North Hollywood, but I did. And so I'm sitting here going through this place and getting real comfortable on the floor, trying to like figure out my centerpiece and putting different things on the ground here, and I'm just like, all right. So, and then I hear this woman in the background, just really loud, raspy, like cigarette voice, just, hey, June, do you have any more of these candles? And I'm not, she wasn't like a New Yorker, but we're going to make her a New Yorker type, just loud and boisterous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get my stuff. I got to go, because she was coming closer. I could feel her coming near to me, and I was like, ah. And soon enough, I get my stuff together, and she's like, excuse me, I just, I have to keep it going. Excuse me, I need to know, are you an actress? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, yes I am. She's like, because you look like an actress. And I was like, do I? She's like, and you literally look like this FBI agent we're looking for. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I'm like trying to get my stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go, thanks, bye. And she followed me to the register, and she's like, no, seriously, I'm not a stalker. I'm real. I'm an assistant cat. Hang on a second. Billy, hey, I'm with this girl. I found her. Here, Billy, tell her we're real. And he does, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how I got my casting for this movie. I show up. I guess came from the candle store lady, and I show up and audition for this role, and didn't get it.
You had some cojones. I mean, that is a scary, you know what I mean? As a single woman, like going
in Hollywood,
out and,
it sounded like a Ted Bundy story.
Right.
Totally.
Come to her house.
Oh,
check it
yeah.
out.
And then our play, they just go down the alley, take a right, the green door, go through that. And so I don't get it. I'm like, all right. And then I get a call like 2 days later, I got it. And so in retrospect, because this is the company I ended up producing for, I was like, tell me the truth. Someone else got picked, didn't they? And then they dropped out, and I got the part. David ends up telling me yes. I was like, okay, fine. But that's how I met David White, and that is how our relationship began. So while we were filming a film called Jerusalem Countdown, super fun film. It was like, I was playing that FBI agent with fun stunts, and I got to use guns and slide across ice and do all kinds of this cool stuff.
Was this your first film, or was this?
Yeah. And it was in Manistee, Michigan, right before Christmas, and it was -20 the entire time. Oh, wow. So I didn't feel my fingers or my face on half the scenes we filmed outside, but I didn't care.
I'm from Michigan, so I can empathize with
okay.
It's bitter cold, yeah.
They had a really cool casino there, and that's where we stayed, and they had great margaritas. I remember this. So, yeah, that's how it started, because I was like, now, what's the deal? Because I'm poking around, and it turns out I'm talking to the guy that owns the company that's producing this.
Oh, wow.
And his story was a lot like mine, where he's like, he's been producing stuff to put himself in. So it was kismet in that I now had a resource for all the questions I had to ask. Funny enough, he was just a creative guy, so he didn't really have any answers. But what he did have was, I got a movie after this, and if you help me raise the money, we'll teach you how to produce. And I'm thinking now in retrospect, I was like, who's going to teach me how to produce? Me. I was just going to learn because, like he's the EP. He's the big idea guy. He's not about execution and the details.
Right.
So I actually worked right into this group very nicely, because I am a detail person. Having had the accounting degree, now I could learn how to budget. I self-taught. I learned the software, I learned scheduling. So that's how it all started, and I just started volunteering my time. So when they said they had another movie, I was like, I'll do it. And he goes, I don't have any money. I was like, I don't care. And like, he gave me maybe $1,000, and I was like, well, that's more than I was going to do it for zero. And then the next movie, I was like, fine, 500, whatever. I do it.
How were you I mean, you don't mind me asking, but I'm sure people who would be listening to this would be, how were you eating, and do you have rent or a car? Like, you know what I mean? $500 for...
Yeah. So it was a blessing that my commercial career was really strong. And I thought it was going to end when I got pregnant or whatever. And it blossomed even more after the pregnancy. So I was still working on television and commercials. So I had quite a bit of residuals. I had a good income. So it was the perfect time to put my foot into just start getting into a space. And mind you, I'm like, they will teach you how to produce. All I got was, you need to learn movie magic, budgeting, and scheduling. And I think that was it.
That was your producing skills right there.
So when I'm getting ticked off by G&E over here because they're just being G&E, and I'm like, these guys are disrespecting Mama. Get the hell off my set. And I'm like, oh my God, you're such an idiot, Anna. I didn't know. I was just learning as I was going. All I knew is, okay, again, the right side. What's logical? Renting equipment means, okay, there's going to be an invoice. There's going to be transactions here. So this came naturally. I'm a mama. I can put a party together. Let's do this. And what I didn't know, I just asked. Okay, do we need permits when we film here? Are the cops going to show? Like, there was just things that I had some good street smarts.
Sure.
So I'm like, so I just pieced it together, and because nobody was really guiding me.
Yeah, I imagine that's just a learning.
No, trial by fire, baby.
Jump in and learn how to swim, huh?
So one film led to 2, led to 4, led to 6, led to a series. One day, David's like, we're going to do a series, and you're going to learn how to do a series. Okay, do we know how to do a series? No. But you're going to learn. Okay. Where do we start? You need to call the film school of LA because the owner of that is doing it and figure out how we get in there and just we're going to shoot this.
Wow.
On it.
That was it.
Yeah, you just go. So I love that about him, though, because I don't like to be micromanaged and I'm very able. So and I don't have a problem, like I said, asking questions. If there's any advice I give out there is don't be afraid to ask what you don't know. Like, don't pretend. There's so many ways. There's so many ways to get information and there's so many resources. Just ask.
I think that's, super great advice to have.
Yeah. Like a lot of times people view that as a weakness, like to expose that they don't know something. And it's more of a weakness to hide it.
I think it's a strength.
The strength comes in being vulnerable in that way to go, hey,
Sure.
I function well in this lane and these are the things I do well and this is what I don't.
Yeah.
So you bring on people who can assist in this world, and then you work in tandem. And a great producer eventually is you're lifting everyone up because we all go together. It is an ensemble. So that's what happened. So I would learn, and what I didn't know, I'd just say, I don't know, I'd ask. And every once in a while, you get a ding-dong in there that's like, well, let me tell you what I know. And you're like, but there's always a little gem in there, too. There's always a little gem. So I always say, just be open. So yeah, I did the math. I was like, oh my gosh, it's probably like 15, almost 20 films and like maybe 10 to 12 series that I've done now. So it's flown by.
And what a great experience too, because it's, for the good and the bad, I guess, because your bosses, I guess, they didn't really know what they were doing in that aspect either. So
yeah,
they didn't know if what you were doing was right or wrong. So it was like, I guess it kind of took some pressure off in a way where you're not like, you don't have someone kind of staring at you, judging every move.
Yeah. We weren't arrested or the IRS didn't come to our doors yet. So we were good. We're like, keep on trucking.
But a good learning experience, like, you know what I mean? I guess less pressure, I would think. You're not in this pressure cooker.
Yeah. I felt the most I've ever felt of being in a pressure cooker was in these last 3 years, we got to work with a studio, Sony, a firm. And I think that I put more pressure on myself because I wanted to show up to the table, with nice clothes and be like, I know what I'm doing. And after 3 years, I actually met with that studio exec here in the last few weeks to kind of just because I love this guy. He's an amazing, one of probably the most amazing people I've worked with, and he's up there in Sony. And he paid me a really good compliment and then also something to help me understand where I was in the big scheme of things, which was anytime he worked with me and our company, he was very excited to work with me because he knew I had my ducks in a row and I would do everything to the nth level. But in the scope of where we were as a production company and in the world of production companies, we were on the bottom, all right? So if you were to compare what we were doing with someone who has actually been in the studio world and has done that, we were... What did he said? I was excellent in this world with this production company, but if I walked into the studio world now and they hired me, I would just be good.
Right.
And I thought that was a nice, this is how great he was. I still had room for improvement, but I wasn't far. That was just compliment. More intuitive because it's not like I had anybody teaching me what to do here. I was like, I think this, this is the way the table needs to look when we have dinner. This would be proper. This would look nice. So if I was drafting a letter or building a grid or something, I don't have a template here, but I think this looks good and the information's succinct. What do you think?
Is this good?
Good. So, you play this back, you're like, most of my stuff's just been learning as I go.
I think that is the best way. That's the best way I've learned, at least.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. It's hands-on,
yeah.
Getting your hands dirty and you know what I mean, digging in without, when you're just learning stuff through textbook or you're just watching someone do it, I don't know, it doesn't resonate, I don't think, as much. And
I think at this age, to remind myself of who I was back then and how fearless I was. Like, okay, here we go, and I need to do this movie, and let's go ask all the friends and family for money, and don't worry about not paying them back. And then you fast forward later and you're like, I'm sorry, I couldn't pay you back. I'm a failure. This didn't work. Because that's really what happened with that first movie. But weirdly enough, I got to pay them back, but 10 years later.
Just took time.
So I just said, thanks for putting me through film school. It's really what I told them.
Sure, essentially that's what it was.
It's what it was.
Right.
But ignorance was bliss back then because I wouldn't have asked at that time if I knew I wasn't going to pay them back in the 2 years that I said I would. Right?
I think that's okay, though.
It is, but, I'm again, I guess coming back to, at this point in life, we have so much experience and we can get analysis paralysis. So if we are trying to move forward and do something new and do something different, there's so many ways we can talk ourselves out of it. So many ways we can build narratives in our mind to say, well, you know what? And no one's got to listen to this podcast. Right. No one's going to watch. No one really cares what my YouTube channel is. I mean, there's so many other people doing it. Like, you can do that by yourself in your living room.
Talk yourself out of anything.
Talk yourself right on out of it. Yeah. Versus being that person who was playing in the sandbox that went, I'm going to build this castle today and I'm going to just love it. It's going to be so great. Da, 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 da. Like, I'm trying to remind myself of that girl, of who I am now, and go, play in your sandbox again. Do this and enjoy it, and don't attach anything to it right now.
I think that's very sound advice. I think your perspective on your learning experience and calling it film school, I think that's a really intelligent way to put that. Because I went to film school and I wouldn't recommend it personally. So no hard feelings out there for anybody else, but I've learned way more. It's probably true for a lot of industries. I've learned, I guess, unless you're going to be a doctor or something that's, applying those skills in that manner. But film school, it seemed like it just kind of laid the basis down for, it didn't really give me any real tangible knowledge.
Yeah, and I've heard this before. And when I think about everything I've learned over almost 15 years, I don't even know how they could cover it in those 4 years. Honestly, like, there's so much, and I get what they're doing. They're just kind of, it's contour level and just exposing you enough to these buzzwords where you're not completely ignorant when you get out there. But it almost feels like it would be like a doctor, like you would need 8 years. Then you would need to specialize in a field to really dig deep, because gosh, really, to understand, if we're looking at just script development to production, what goes on production, post-production by itself, there's so much that I didn't even know. Like, for many, many years, I was just the guy that's now finishing up the movie. I wrap it up in a bow, the offline bow, and give it to the production company. I had no idea what they were doing, what the editors were doing, what the color process, sound, music. Amazing what post-production does. I mean, it just, the fact that an editor, a really good editor, can change the entire movie just with cutting it a certain way through a certain lens is powerful and really, like, scary at the same time, because you want someone really great in that chair, because if not, they can make or break your movie, truly. To delivery. Now you got to figure out how to sell this. There's so much to it, so much, and there's a lane for everybody.
I think it's very true. Yeah,
there's a lane for everybody. I'm just a learner. I love to learn. I'm a life learner, and so I needed to know everything. Why? Came back. Now, why do we do this? And why does this happen here? And that's just me.
You know what? I think that's a really good point. Editing is so important. You were talking about post-production, and I think every phase of filmmaking or television, whatever you want to call it, has, I think there's 3 pilots, I guess, if you will, to telling a story. You have your writer, then you have your director / DP. They're kind of one and the same. They really help. They have to be in unison to help tell that story. And I think they share equal parts, which, when I see best director, I always think, well, the cinematographer should really be standing up there with them, because they are really helping tell that, I know that's not how it is, but I really think that they are a married couple when it comes to telling that story. And then
agree.
finally, you have your editor, and they all have equal power, thirds of telling that story, because your editor can change drastically how that story is told,
Yeah.
just as much as your writer or your DP or director. So I think that's a super valuable point, especially to young filmmakers, because they don't really understand, especially like the writers. I'm writing this story and this is what it's going to be. We don't know that. How's the director going to interpret that line? How's the actor going to interpret that line?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's tough to say. I think that each one of those, they all have to kind of be in unison. And I think that's the magic of filmmaking, really.
Yeah, one elevates to the next, because you start with the script, that's your roadmap. Now you've got who's interpreting this creative. That's now we elevate it a little bit more. You get some amazing actors in there. The scene I wrote that I envisioned this way, they ingest that and they add who they are and who they see the character as that you didn't see. And it now is something even more magical. And now the editor gets a hold of it. And then let's not forget when we add in the beautiful icing, which is the music,
Sound
a
design.
score.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it can change it. Like, have you ever watched a movie with no score? There's only a few out there that exist. Winter's Bone is one
Absolutely.
of them with Jennifer. This is where she got her Academy Award. Oh, I just brain farted her name.
Not Garner.
No, not Garner.
I know who you're talking about.
But yeah. So, and then you're adding like even more toppings with beautiful color and sound. It's just
icing,
a
yeah.
beautiful thing to watch it go from inception all the way to the finished product.
I think you brought up
yeah.
a good point, which was interesting. I think actors and composers are really those outliers. There's a few actors, again, that like you had mentioned earlier, see that a De Niro, or you see a
Meryl Streep, Daniel
there will be Daniel Day-Lewis,
Yeah.
and they can make or break a film. They can change everything, and they bring everything to that film. You're not even paying attention to anything else other than them. Same thing with composers, Hans Zimmer or John Williams. You bring them into the mix, and you hear James Horner's music, and you're like, it changes the film completely. So I think those are also aspects that I guess you have to keep it in your mind as that this is going to have an impact on my story and how it's going to be
Yeah, for sure.
interpreted. But I got off on a tangent there, but interrupted your thoughts.
I'm still trying to think of Jennifer. Oh my gosh, that's bugging me.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I have no idea where that came from, but
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, so Winter's Bone didn't have a score, but that's a testament now to the acting and story, right? But it's just, we were talking about film school, so you don't really get to, like, I'm sure all of you guys have like a student project or something. It culminates with, okay, you're just going to get a camera and go out there and shoot something. Great.
Sure.
So that's your baseline. So now you're out in the world. Now you build on that.
Yeah.
And it's a tough world, but
it is.
if your heart's in it and
Ask questions, hands-on stuff.
yeah, if your heart's in it and you really got to get creative about finding your way, how you get seen, how you are heard as a filmmaker. It's the ultimate entrepreneurial path. It's all you.
I agree.
And it's all you. So it tests your work ethic. But what a reward too. So this is like the pendulum swings, either way, from just, poor being in a car to, top of your game, and, you're changing the way, culture with your movies. But I think for me, I definitely have enjoyed just learning about the process and my little slice of the pie with the company I'd been with and the movies we were making, and it's been very rewarding. So,
as a producer, how do you foster and how do you create an environment to allow the things we were just discussing to take place? What is it? Do you have a process to that, or is it?
So I think it starts with picking the right partners, and the crew members you work with, the creatives you choose. It's important because you are in the trenches from start to finish. After a script is, let's just say you're talking from the point that we've got a locked script and now we're going on this journey. We're going to make this movie and get it to the finish line. So being able to work with an ensemble you trust is really important.
Does that really start with what, like your local team, like your line producers and your
definitely the production team, but the creatives, your director, your DP, your production designer, all the main department heads, because you want this synergy that is positive and uplifting, and everyone's being heard, and that sounds so idyllic, and it is, but it's not, because I've seen it happen, and when it's happening, it's the best place. There's no other place I'd rather be. And when it's not, you're like, are we almost done yet with this?
Is there something to be said about that? Like having someone who is, say, an extremely talented actress or extremely talented DP, but if they're, for lack of better terms, toxic, or there's something about them that can ruin it, do you think, oh, maybe I'll go with this person because I don't want that energy? Or is that...
Wow, and that is not something that you can really vet unless... you're, I imagine, in a different level than ours where, people have reputations.
Sure.
Right. As far as DPs or directors and stuff. But at our level, you're working with maybe newer directors. They've got a few things under their belt, and, you do your best to vet them. But it really, like in my experience, when things have unraveled and all of a sudden, this person's head's like turned 2 times, you're like, oh my God, they're the devil. You didn't see it coming. And I had that happen one time with an actress that I had worked with in a film, I don't know, 3 months before or maybe 6 months before we started this other project, was the best. Everything was great.
Yeah.
Team player. And then for some reason, I guess things just weren't right in her life. She got a little tripped up on some things that just got her heady about the script, and was the worst nightmare for the entire shoot. And everyone else was great. So what could I do about that? I just kept thinking, how is this happening right now? So you roll with it, and you do your best. And at that point where you're just trying to coddle and just get this person through. Now that's, an actor. I had crew members. Sure. So there's really not a process to answer your question that you implement, other than you do your best to try to choose the right people for the job and just hope everything lines up. And if not, that's the other side of the job, is that you've got to problem solve, get creative, and stay positive.
It seems like a very challenging job just to, like you said, to create that environment, like to try and manage that and keep everybody on set happy and not allow this to leak in. I suppose that's part of that management, and your brain has to kind of be there. We have to stay on budget. We have to stay on time. I imagine these are all sort of...
Yeah, I did a talk about this because a lot of people go, what does a producer do? Or what? Right. I don't really get what kind of producer, and that's something that I always want to ask back. What kind of producer are you talking about? And it's interesting because, when you see a movie start, you have opening credits or even end credits, you see all these producers. And, the EPs are just, they're the guys that greenlight this thing. They're the vets. They bring the money in, or they bring the clout, right? Sure. Then there's the producers. That's my job. And that is that person to shepherd this whole thing from beginning to end. You're hiring the DP, you're hiring the key crew, you found the script, you're bringing this all together, and then there's different tiers of producers underneath you that are helping, a co-producer, associate producer, your line producer. Yes, that's my right hand. We've got to make sure we stay on time, on budget. So it is a big job, and it's for folks who just, can appreciate. It's the ultimate managerial position. So, it's not for everybody, but what's great is that there are different types of producers even below that, like line producer, if you just want to deal with money and numbers. That's great. And then there's even the production managers, even more detailed. And that's just the minutia of dealing with crew and daily activities and just really executing the plan that we've put into place. So
see how it all sort of, you're making sure all the ducks are in a row, if you will, and making sure everything's marching.
I'm the queen bee walking through, and all my babies are behind me. Let's go. I love it.
So speaking on that, and in talking about the film industry, a lot of things have been changing, especially I'd say since the pandemic, the past 4 years. It's been kind of in this flux of up and down. It's really, really fluctuated a lot. What is that experience like? What have you seen, and what have you seen change for the better or worse?
Well, firsthand, because dare I say that we worked together on a film where we dealt with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Do we remember when we're on set? I will never forget. It's March 2020, and we're at the DC stages, and we're trying to pull off like the last 2 days of our film, and Trump comes on and makes the speech about everything shutting down.
Yep.
And that moment, we lost our sound guy right away. I mean, he just took his headphones off, and I was like, I'm out.
Oh, I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. We were shooting in Burbank.
I was like, hold on. No, DC stage is downtown. We were in the...
that was the day.
Yeah.
The next day was at the location.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it was, so you talk about on a dime.
Yeah.
People went from, everything's cool, and now, they said it's not cool. Mm-hmm. And I gotta go. Like I was like, well, wait, hang on. We were just okay an hour ago. The world's not imploding. Let's stick together, y'all, and let's finish this. So, I was like, what is going on? It was just an interesting dynamic to watch how it impacted everybody.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a why person, so I'm not gonna just go, okay, hold on. Why do we have to take this vaccine? Why is this going on? Let's check some boxes. Let's ask questions.
Yeah.
I was of that mindset, always have been. Where other ones like, nope, put the mask on, wrap yourself in saran wrap, lock yourself in your house for 2 years. And I'm thinking, what's happening?
Right.
So, so that was interesting. But then we got into some protocols, and where everyone's like figuring out how to get back into it, and we were one of the first ones.
Oh yeah, I
remember that?
Yeah.
Because our whole company was of that mindset of like, we're gonna keep shooting. Everyone just calm down. And so they wanted me to get going, and it was before SAG had come up with protocols of testing and how you needed to do things. So we were just ahead of them. And so we took the liberty of going back to production before being approved and got our hands slapped real bad. Yeah. They found us. They came to set, shut us down, and was like, you heathens. Okay, fine. And then I think I got cleared 6 weeks later, when everybody did a little swab thing, do your stuff. Yeah, okay. And we finished in that office like 2 days later.
The whole thing to me seemed like
so
a
then
racket.
After that, I'm now having to line in my budget 20% of my production funds for COVID testing and supplies. So I did not have this line item that was just sucking me dry.
Yeah.
Like I could have put it in my movie, but instead I have to buy these ding-dong tests.
It's so crazy.
And like, because none of this was really flushed out. Like the whole thing was take the vaccine and it'll be okay. You're not going to transmit anything. When that just blew up, like, okay, wait a minute. So you have the vaccine, you haven't.
We're still testing.
But you have COVID, but you don't. And we're testing. Got it. Okay. I'm really confused now.
And then it was wear mask, don't wear mask.
Don't wear mask, wear half a mask, wear, raincoat,
Shields,
don't wear raincoat, wear galoshes, don't. I was like, all right, well, running through that for a couple years.
Yeah.
That was something. So it's such a breath of fresh air now where I'm like, I see it on my budgets, that line, and I'm like, delete! Never again! Because it's just money we wasted that we could have put towards our film.
Such a crazy.
Yeah.
There were several shoots we went on, and they had COVID. There was COVID officers. They had to bring on.
Right. We had to have that because you had to have your certificate. So especially like getting through the process with SAG, like you have your person. Here's your health officer. And funny enough, you could go get like a certificate from an online, like those services that pop up, like you need to be a certified COVID officer. Take this test. It's only 3 questions. And then you get it. You're good.
We had COVID people. They weren't sure how to swab. They were swabbing our tongues, and we're like,
You're like, I'm sorry, sure, that's not where it's supposed to be put.
It's not right.
It doesn't go in my armpit.
Yeah, the whole thing seemed like a money grab to me.
I know. We have to laugh about it at this point, and I know I make jokes at it, but and I get it. It was a serious time, and there were people who didn't make it through for many reasons, but there are other things too that still kill people, like pneumonia and the common cold.
Yeah.
So that's the point is, I didn't appreciate being scared and this propaganda for other reasons, because that's not cool. I'm a hypochondriac. So even in that moment, I still had to ask why, because I'm like, because I was like, what am I going to stick in my body right now that you're not sure, like really what's going to happen in 10 years after I take this thing? Yeah. So I still made a choice for myself and was willing. I think that was the other thing, not having the choice was very upsetting. To be forced, or people who lost their jobs. I had a really close friend who worked at Warner Brothers for 15 years. The ideal employee, was the last one on the roster that didn't get the vaccine, and they canned her.
Wow.
I mean, this woman was top notch. And I'm like, okay, and I was on a show, and, I got a recurring gig. It was great, but, they were like, if you weren't vaccinated, you can't come on the show. So I lost my job. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And where are we now here? Does it matter anymore?
It doesn't matter. So it's like,
What was all that about?
What was that about? Okay, just one for the record.
Right.
There we go.
I'm not saying there's dollar signs involved somewhere, but I'm sure somebody
that type of manipulation is just, hopefully everyone I think sees it now. So that's what's nice. It's there's a real like aha moment of maybe we should have done that differently.
It was a knee-jerk reaction.
Maybe we should have done that a little differently.
100%. Well, that being said, where does, especially now, I'll jump forward to, we had that, and then we came into the streaming wars, which really took off, and then now we have AI kind of coming in, not so much for content creation. I think there's a misnomer right now of, they're taking actors' jobs, and I think that's a ways off, just from the things I've read and the things I've understood. And again, I could be wrong. I'm no fortune teller, but I do see it, coming into, which I'm sure you are probably mildly involved in music and in editing and storyboards and a lot of these smaller creative jobs. I can see it sort of creeping in, and then also we have this coming of age of the younger generation now who doesn't watch content like we do. The Gen Z is not into having a TV in their house or watching movies or going to the movies, or it's more about what's on my phone, what's on YouTube. Yeah. So, I think that's definitely having an effect on the industry. What are you seeing in reference to that? Yeah. Well, we just went through the strike with SAG and WGA, and that was a big topic of conversation of how to manage it, how to get ahead of it, how to protect us as actors. And so, that in itself was a real, that has really, it slowed down production for that period of time, and we're still trying to catch up now. And, I have really great friends that are in production accounting that can't find jobs. This is a position that they always got gigs. So when you got production accountants out of work, that's a sign of the times. So yeah, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm an optimist in this world in that, like, can't we all get along? I love
I've dabbled in it a little bit, like with Chat GPT, and in my world, I find it very useful for certain things. And even as a sounding board with things that I'm thinking about or creatives I'm thinking about, I call mine Charlie. I love Charlie. He's so great. I like Charlie. Charlie even helps me with dating advice. Okay. So this guy, I gotta tell you, he wrote this. What the hell do I say? What would be? He has some great suggestions. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay. So we have this amazing machine that helps curate information, whether it's, in our world or like in like medicine. To me, it's so like, I'm thrilled about it because there's only so much that scientists can do managing all this information. Can you imagine you get a massive machine in there that can get through all this stuff and really make these conclusions and find the cure for cancer like in half the time? You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not as scared, because there's a lot of this fear mongering going on with AI. It's rise of rise of the machines. But I'm trying to be hopeful. Like, can't we just move in tandem with each other and support? Because the human factor is still the human factor. I don't think you get rid of that. It's still a machine. Our brain still is way more sophisticated than that machine. Okay, so from that vantage point, then I'm like, the sky's the limit. We can work in partnership. So I'm hoping that's where it goes, and it's not like things that it's making easy. Sure, let it do that. If an AI can, I don't know, say some of the work of the AE. Now I'm trying to displace the AE. I do believe there'll probably be some positions that will get absorbed by it. We're very creative creatures, like you, and adaptable. We adapt. So it would just force us as a society to find our space and where we need to go in alignment with AI. So we need to be challenged a little bit, like all these little monkeys, little chickens that are like, I'm going to grow up to be an influencer. You're like, okay, well, that's about 15 minutes because there'll be someone right behind you. So like the work ethic right now is a little weak. Our schools, education, they're dumbing it down way too much for the kids. Like just in my son's school right now, just being privy to that, where you can do retakes on tests. You have open notes for tests. You have so many opportunities to have another shot. Can you tell me when we were taking math, our math test or any of our classes, it was pass or fail. It was like, you got one shot at this and here you go. And it forced us. It forced us to, get it together, study or take the grade you got.
Well, it seems like it's doing them an injustice. There's no,
it's 100%.
There's no retakes on life. You get, especially now, the competition's getting stiffer. So
yeah.
You miss that up, it's done.
So I feel like, maybe this will up the game a little bit. Yeah, like when this new way of because every industry is being affected by AI in some form or fashion. So I think it might be the kick in the pants we need to. Yeah. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's buck up.
How do you think? And I'll delve back into that. How do you think it is? Because I have seen a decrease in the amount of content coming out and the investment in projects, just from my own world, seeing the show's budgets getting smaller, the crew's getting smaller, the number of shows. We shoot 13 episodes, 20 episodes, and then we're down to 10, and it was like 8. Now it's 6. So the budgets are getting smaller, and the length of a series, the interest in a series is much shorter. Do you think that content and the way we make it, where do you see that going? Is that...
Wow. Yeah. I don't
know if that's a question as much as
it's
a
just statement. Yeah. It's like you said, everything's about instant gratification. So you got to get my attention within seconds now. And, when you're looking at the platforms and you're actually scrolling through on a Friday night, what do I want to watch? And it's taking you longer to scroll through all
2 hours of
15 platforms, and you went, oh God, nothing's on.
Right.
You're like, what is wrong with me? I just scrolled through almost like 150 things, and I went, yeah, not feeling it tonight. You're like, what? Let's go to YouTube now. It's just that part's a little. Again, it's a conditioning that's happening right now, and yes, of course, it's having an influence. But I'm hoping it's cyclical. Yeah. I'm hoping, as with everything, history, we'll find our way out of this and find some value in slowing down and taking a minute and appreciating the things we have and the fact that you have 15 apps with 200 things, like let's stop for a minute. There's something here for you. There's definitely something here to watch. Yeah. just take a second.
Yes.
That's wishful thinking, so I don't know. I'm again that I'm always hopeful for.
That's that optimism.
For us to come back to being a little more grounded.
Maybe they need to focus more on, and I'm sure everyone's aware of this, is the decrease in quality. And when I say quality, I don't mean the types of shots or the way it's shot or the acting, but the quality of the content being like it just the story's a little shallow. It seems very predictable. You get to end of episode 1 and you're like, there's 5 more episodes. I can already tell what's going to happen. Characters seem flat. Like it's just seems like they're just throwing it up on screen.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me. I don't know, but
Yes. I hear you. There's
they have
stuff.
so many you know what I mean? Netflix has to churn out so many shows that they're just like, we just have to spit this stuff out.
Yeah, and some of those simple storylines, those simple plot lines that are like cotton candy and unicorns, that serves its purpose sometimes.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
Certain times in the month, I want some romance. And I want to see what it's going to be like when my prince shows up. And he's going to show up at the end. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be real angry at whoever made this. So that predictability is lovely. And then sometimes, so I have to say that I think there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good point.
So.
That's valid. That's a valid point.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, hopefully. And honestly, like, every platform kind of has their hallmark, their anchor type series or movie where I think they've done a really great job. Apple does a really great job of some really elevated stories. Silo is coming back.
They've done some great stuff.
I mean, they have a lot of good stuff there. Netflix, I just look for just some fun. Just, look, Cobra Kai, come on.
Great.
That is a soap opera at best, and we all love it. We all love Ralph Macchio still getting in, digging in, doing his thing.
I love that show.
You're like...
They have, how many seasons of that? 4 seasons now?
The other,
I only saw the first 2 or 3.
Oh, no, we're still on it. I think it's the 5th season.
5th season now.
I need to look that up. The other half is coming. We watched the first half already.
I heard they're doing a spin-off. I mean, it was
just
a rumor. I heard some rumor.
We're in. Me and my son, we love it.
Cobra Kai.
There you go. So I mean, there's just something for everybody on all these things,
yeah.
And you have to tolerate it a little bit.
It's my tolerance. I think it's the. I just, you know what, and it's also the something else I've noticed is they're more focused on metrics as opposed to, I think, the way shows used to be, where a show would do mediocre first season, not so bad second season, then it really starts picking up third season. Now, if a show is mediocre first season, you'll never see it again.
Yeah, it's definitely way more competitive for sure. Like, you got to be on your game, and if you're not, next.
There's numerous shows I've thought, the show's really great, season 3, and it's canceled, and you're like, oh.
And then for us, the company I worked with, we had Faith Family Stuff. There's a platform, pureflix.com, that airs most of that stuff, but now it was bought by GAM, Great American Movie, so there's more of the Hallmarky type stuff. So trying to find a home for even Faith type content is tricky. It's really tricky, because Netflix, Amazon really pick up that much. I mean, The Chosen has really found its home I believe
They're
that's.
on
I think
Amazon,
that's
aren't they, too?
Peacock's
Are they
show.
Peacocks?
Or, yeah. But then that's an anomaly because you've got something that has just resonated. It's got a good story, and you could just keep telling Jesus' story and keep going on that one.
Sure.
So that one was really a good hit for Dallas Jenkins did that one. But it's competitive even for us, trying to find our groove.
What does the future hold for you? I know that you've sort of been delving
Where
into a
is
lot of different
our
things.
like crystal ball? Let's just look. Where are the tea leaves? I don't know. Now I'm exploring. So I am starting a YouTube channel.
Channel? Tell us about it.
Called
What is
The
it called?
Producer's Desk. Not
Okay.
to plug it, but I'm gonna. Please go there. I thought, okay, I have always enjoyed teaching. Always throughout my career. And even, whether it was dance and I started a little like workshop to help the girls try out for the college dance team, like from the local high schools. I remember hustling and creating these little workshops because I honestly wanted to help them, each and every one of them, make the team, So my from my heart is just wanting to give and serve and help. So that's always followed me. And even as a producer, so you're always getting young people, especially in the indie world where I come from, is people out of film school or just, new, just these little ingenues and just there's always a moment to teach. There's always a moment to mentor.
What'd you call them?
Ingenues.
What's the...
Ingenues. Well, like with the actresses, like the young ones that come in. There's even you kind of have to go, okay, this is where you go. This is what you do. It's a...
I haven't heard that term before.
No,
That's fun.
It's a category that's actually a category for like a young 18, 19, 20 something or someone new to the world. So just always guiding, and because when you're in a low budget world, sometimes you just get the folks who can just help. And they've got the spirit to help, but they have no idea what they're doing. So you've been on productions where you're like, okay, buddy, leave that cord alone. That's power. We don't need to unplug that.
Please don't.
But I love those people who have that spirit to just want to learn. So that said, fast forward, now here we are 15 years later. I'm like, maybe that's my calling, my next calling. So I decided to start this YouTube channel because I would get so many questions about producing because it is such a broad title that unless I really break it down for you, which I do in my YouTube channel, that, there's all these questions. So I thought, okay, the best thing about a YouTube channel is it's got to be the title. You got to feel it. You got to know it. This is right. And I was walking my dog and I was like, okay, what is it? Because I was like, film basics with Anna Z, making movies with Anna Z. And I was like, blah, 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 those suck.
Nothing popped out at you.
Yeah. I was like, my desk. The producer's desk. Oh, the producer's desk. Dun, dun, dun.
But it's very...
But then it made sense to me, also, because I'm very apprehensive. I was talking about being fearless, right? So I was like, you better jump into the sandbox, girl, or you need to just pack it up and just, I don't know, start working at Starbucks. I was like, okay, I'm not going to work at Starbucks. I don't have the patience to make all those drinks. But, so I was like, all right, jump in. And so I started embracing the whole thing because I was like, oh, the influencer that's educated. Am I going to be one of those people? I don't know. I just had these.
More of an educator than an influencer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the producer's desk came to be. And it is really things that I do daily and deal with daily that I thought, oh, I can share this knowledge. And so it's shaping up really nicely. And I'm excited to see how it's going to be received. It's got a few videos underneath my belt, still working on it. So that is something I'm going to keep doing, I think, in tandem with probably teaching. I think I see myself out there. I'm just delving into different avenues and still consulting. So there's a lot of producers out there that I work with, that I've been working with. And so whether, like, I just did a top sheet for this guy's an amazing salesman. He's an EP of EPs. It gets out there. He knows how to get the money. Mm-hmm. But when you have money, you have to have, you have to have your paper. You have to have all your numbers in a row for these guys. And so I thought, okay, that's great. I can still do that sort of thing. So I put a top sheet together for him, and hopefully they'll get the funds for this. So I thought, okay, this could run in tandem with each other, because these are like topics I could just talk about.
Yeah.
By the way, I just did this, and I thought, okay, so now I see the channel, I see what it is, and I'm getting excited with every episode that I shoot, because I can't wait. I'm like, oh, this is really going to help someone. They really needed to know this. The only thing I'm trying to get used to is how to not talk in circles and not cuss. Because I mean, my dad was a Green Beret, so every once in a while I got a little something that'll come out, or my accent. So I'm like, oh my God, because I'm so used to being scripted that I'm thinking, okay. And I'll put the little beep in the
Bleep
thing.
it out, cut it
Bleep
out.
it out. Yeah, because then I think the more comfortable I get, I think it's just going to be great. Because I'm like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to talk about today.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So for now, that's where we're at.
I mean, it's like I guess at your channel, it's like having a professor. You don't want the professor who's so strict and rigid. You want them to be comfortable and joking with everybody and kind of stumbling over a few things, or, oh, let me get this out. And I think it feels more natural, right? I think that's...
Oh, I'll do plenty of stumbling. I will be that one.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think so. That'll be the most of the comments. Like, really, Anna, you said so 100 times. Or right. Right? Don't get me on perfect. Oh, God. No, don't do that. But yeah, that's where we're going.
We'll put a link below so everybody can follow it and come check out your channel. And
that'd be great.
Click like and do the whole...
Yeah, like all of that. Now I'm like, oh, yes, click like. I'm such a dork. I'm like, what do I have to tell them they need to do?
Follow, click,
click, whatever. Push all the buttons. All of them. And write nice comments. And if they're negative, don't write it at all. Don't hurt my feelings.
Don't read the comments, right?
Okay. But I might need to read the comments.
Yeah, you're teaching, so I guess that's okay, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to put on that thick skin again.
Maybe you can have someone else read the comments and filter them for you.
That'd be good. Yeah. Yes.
Maybe you can get a program, write an AI program.
Even better.
Only the positive ones.
Only the positive ones get through. Okay, there we go. Because I'm sensitive. All this tough girl stuff, you're fired, get out. Deep down, that's just real soft in there. It's real soft and gushy.
You got to be in touch with your emotions.
I am so in touch. That's why I was like, I am not doing this in front of everybody. Are you kidding me? Cry? No. So I give it to the ones that do it. I'm like, look at you.
It's putting themselves out there.
I love it. I love it so much when I watch good actors on set. I'm like, you are so good. That's why I was like, I was meant to be, I'll hire you. You do that.
And they're okay with it.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, that's a whole nother level.
I'll hold the tissue box. I'll be right here next to you.
I respect it, though.
Great take. That's all we need, y'all. Let's print it. Let's go.
So that's what's next for you. Mm-hmm. I love it. And you're going to continue to produce?
I don't know yet. Oh,
see where that goes.
Yeah. We'll see. I put my time in.
Every project is kind of
I need, I'm on the second half of life. I got a few gray hairs. I don't think on-set producing is for me just yet. Whew, I put my time in. I'm just here to share. Yeah. But everyone needs to do it. Do it. If you haven't, you're going to love it. I loved it for the 10 years. I did it. I was in it. Love it. 16-hour days. Whatever. Roll right into it. Didn't sleep. Trying to think. I was just, my mind would go. But no.
I think you like looking after people is what I think
I
it
do.
is.
I like taking care. I do a lot.
That's probably why you like producing and...
I like to take care of people.
Like
I like to make sure
you're looking after.
I do. So I just pray every day and I say, okay, you just show me the way. So.
I love it.
All right, yeah.
I love it. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
This has been fun. You're pretty good at this.
I'm just making it up as I go.
I
don't
could
even know what I'm
tell.
doing.
No, I'm just kidding. You're natural. Oh, excuse me. That's another thing I noticed in my
water's
video.
for.
I noticed in my videos, I swallow. I do this. I don't
Yes.
like gulping. It must be a nervous tick. It drives me nuts when I watch my videos.
Maybe.
I hope nobody. Okay, y'all don't pay attention to that, will you? I'm trying not to smile. But no, you're pretty good at it. I'm really happy for you that
Thank you.
you're doing this because this is right up your alley.
Well, I appreciate you
know?
coming on the show and taking the
Yeah.
time to
Yeah, for sure.
it's something I
we
do.
go way back. We go way back. You
There's
and me.
a minute, yeah.
Yeah. So my pleasure.
Shows and movies and yeah.
Yeah. So when you're hit your million mark, 5 million, you invite me back. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We got the big studio and the whole thing.
Got it. Well, this is a nice studio. What you got going here?
Not bad. It's not bad.
Pretty sexy.
I do enjoy sitting here talking with people, though. I think
Yeah.
you've been a lot of fun. I think it's interesting because you always, I know a lot about you, but you always hear new little tidbits. There's always bits of people's lives that you're like, oh, that's an interesting,
Yeah.
insight into something. It kind of gives you, like today I was just saying, you like teaching, and you like taking care of people, and I kind of put those two together, and I'm like, at the end of the day, it is. She likes, taking care of her son. She takes care of her dog. She likes to take care of a set. There's a lot of commonality there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It
so
makes me happy. Makes
You
me
having
happy
your
to
channel, I think, falls in line with
I
that.
want to
You're-
take care of people.
Let me help.
Let me help you
Yeah.
get through what you know. Like I love. They're gonna have to have their own journey.
Yeah.
But if I can throw some tidbits out there to help them, here you go, with a few ums, ahs, and okay, so's and rights.
It's part of it.
Okay.
It's just you.
I know. I'm still getting used to it.
People want to know you. They don't
They
want to know
do.
the crafted.
Yeah.
I'm on this commercial. They want to
Yeah.
know you, who
Yeah.
you are as a person. That's it.
Yeah.
So just be you.
Okay. I can do that.
You got it.
All right.
Well, thanks for sharing your time with us, Anna.
Thanks for
And we'll
having
definitely
me.
have to have you back.
I'll be back.
And then all your links below, like you have your channels, anything else you want to shout out to?
No, we'll start with that.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you need a
we'll
movie
start
produced,
there. Yeah, yeah,
this is the lady to see.
yeah. Maybe I
Maybe.
could give you some advice on it.
All right, yeah, I
Yeah.
should point you in the right
I'll
direction.
point you in
for
the
sure.
right direction. I'll make sure you stay on the path.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Anna, for coming by, and we'll have you on soon.
All right. Well, thanks for having
All right, thank you so much.
me. Okay.